Hello, Algebra 1 students. I want to go through a couple questions here on word problems. So I separated out the word problems of Lesson 1 and Lesson 2 into this one video, just so we can really focus in on what it means to be doing a word problem. So I'm going to do these 3 problems, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what the homework looks like. Our goal is we want to use word problems to solve equations, okay? So here we go. We're going to go right into it. Nice short video. It says, a coupon subtracts $17.95 from the price, P, of a pair of headphones. You pay $71.80 for the headphones after using the coupon. Write and solve an equation to find the original price of the headphones. So, what I've broken up into here is the unknown and the known. The unknown is what we're trying to find. We want to find something. And we want to know what we want to know by reading the prompt. A lot of the times that will come as in the form of a question. In this case it doesn't, but a lot of times it will. And a lot of times it comes at the end. So here if I read this sentence again, it says, write and solve an equation to find the original price of the headphones. So what is the unknown? That's the original price of the headphones. There's lots of other things that are unknown, but we're not being asked to find those. Like, I'm not going to put, the color of the headphones, the size, the brand. Yeah, those are unknown, but they're outside the scope of what we need to know. So what do we know based on this prompt? Well, my coupon is $17.95. I also know that that P is my variable, right? So P equals price. This P variable is given to us. It's italicized. That's how we know that it is the variable that it wants us to use. I ended up paying $71.80. So I think of that as a total, right? When I pay something, that was the final value. Okay, so I pay $71.80. So now I can take this information. One other thing I wanted to point out is this keyword subtracts. It tells me that I'm going to be subtracting in my equation. So I need to write an equation that does this. If I think about a coupon, coupons always subtract from an original price. So I have my original price, this is what we start with, that P, minus the value of my coupon, $17.95, and that equals my total value. That equals what I ended up paying. I ended up paying $71.80. This is now exactly like the equations that we've been doing. This is just like your homework. It's a one step. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to say this is P minus 17.95. How do I undo subtraction? I add. So I'm going to add to both sides. If I'm going to add 17.95 to 17.95, it goes away. If I add 17.95 to 71, what am I going to get? Grab my calculator. 71.80 plus 17.95 equals 89.75. $89.75 because it's asking us to find a cost, right? To find the original price. So make sure we have dollars on there. It's the cost of my equations, of my headphones. Here we go with number 2. After a party, you have 2/5 of the brownies you made left over. There are 16 brownies left. How many brownies did you make for the party? What's unknown? The brownies, right? I said that it's a question. It's at the end. How many brownies did we start with? What do we know? I know that I have 2/5 left. And I know I have 2/5 left over. Goodness. And that makes 16. So I need to figure out how many did I start with. Well, we need to remember that we have to have a variable. Up here in 1 it was easy because it said it's P. We have to come up with our own. I'm going to do B because they're brownies, right? So what would happen here? I want to go from 2/5 times B equals 16. B would be the amount that we started with. We multiply that by 2/5 to get what we started with. This is a homework problem that a lot of us struggled with. So I'm going to make sure that we talk a little bit about what that looks like. So 2/5 B equals 16. A lot of us are really good at recognizing that this is a multiplication. So to undo it, I need to divide. So I'm going to lay out what that looks like. I'm going to divide both sides by 2/5 B. So I have 2/5 B divided by 2/5 equals 16 divided by 2/5. I divided both sides by 2/5. Looks a little goofier than what we did on the last one because they're all in the same line. I know that these two things, B times 2/5 divided by 2/5, ends up canceling it out, so I'm left with B on this side. But what is 16 divided by 2/5? To get 16 divided by 2/5, so the first thing I want to make sure you guys feel comfortable about in doing this is being able to do it on a calculator. So here's a scientific calculator like the ones that I have in class. It'll look a lot like this. The big thing to notice here are the parentheses. This is how we're going to enter a fraction. Say I wanted to deal with the fraction 7/5. I enter that fraction by going parenthesis 7 divided by 5, close the parenthesis. The calculator knows what that is. It knows that it's 1.4, but this is how I can add it in there. Let's take a look at this specific problem. I can do 16 divided by, and then the parentheses for the fraction, 2 divided by 5. That makes the fraction 2 divided by 5, and tells me that that is 0.4. That tells me that that fraction is 0.4. So when I hit enter, it actually does the math to get 40. We should have 40 brownies. Then we can check the work. Is 16 2/5 of 40? Yes, it is. The other way we can think about doing this problem is multiplying the reciprocal. I'm going to come down here. So we have 16 divided by 2/5. Well, if I think of 16 as actually 16 divided by 1, because 16 divided by 1 is just 16, then I want to switch this so that I'm multiplying by the reciprocal, the opposite of 2/5. 16 divided by 1 times 5/2. Whenever we're multiplying fractions, we just multiply across. 16 times 5 is 80. 1 times 2 is 2. 80 divided by 2 is 40. So we get the same answer both ways. We should feel very confident doing both of those. And this was 40 brownies. Brownies. 40 brownies was our answer there. Last one. The fair has a $12 entry fee, plus you have to pay an additional $1.50 for each ride. You spend $28.50 total. How many rides did you go on? This question follows a pattern that we're going to see a lot, a linear pattern. So that has a starting value, and it has a rate, or a rule. So for this one, we want to know how many rides do we go on. That's the unknown. Rifes. How many rides? What do we know? We know $12 entry fee. We know $1.50 each ride. That each is a huge word in there, each ride. And we know that it was $28.50 total. Big word total there. So So if I'm going to set up my equation here, I'm going to follow each of these, right? So when I see each, I know that this one has to have my variable on it. So $1.50 for each ride. So 150x, because x is my number of rides. That's my unknown. That's my variable. Plus my $12 entry fee to start. I'm not going to subtract the entry fee, right? That's in addition to my rides. Equals 28.5. That's my total, so I know it's after the equal sign. Now this is a two-step equation, just like in 1.2. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides to start. 28 minus 12 is 16.5. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 1.5. So I have 16.5 divided by 1.5. We get 11. So our answer is 11 rides. If you have questions or concerns on how we do this, make sure you're coming to talk to me. I know that these were some quick examples, but I know once you guys get to this point, you can use the other videos to figure out, okay, how do I solve that again for that variable? We solved that. We said x equals 11 rides. A note about the homework. Remember, there's going to be two new assignments, two new 1.1 assignments. They're both really short. It's 3 problems and 4 problems. But there will be 2 assignments. So make sure you do those 2 other assignments. Don't look at it and be like, oh, I already did 1.1. Well, yeah, you did the problems for 1.1. Now we need to do the word problems for 1.1. Thank you very much. This sheet that I just used, is in the classroom. Also, it is posted in Canvas if you need access to it. Thank you very much. Have a great day, guys.